In the latest trailer for Pokemon Legends Arceus, Hisuian or Ceno Form Pokemon were officially confirmed. We only saw 2 regional variants and 2 regional evolutions, but it's practically guaranteed that there will be more variants than these ones that will appear in the game. So what if a Pokemon from every region got a Hisuian form? This is very unlikely to happen for real, but with so many possibilities for awesome Hisuian forms, we could genuinely get them from any generation, and it would be fun to imagine what they might be like. So in today's video, we're going to be doing just that. I'm going to be using some fan art to illustrate the concepts in this video, and all the artists will be credited in the description, who I highly recommend checking out because they deserve it. We're also able to do all of this in the first place thanks to the wonderful sponsor of today's video, Buyee. So Buyee is pretty great because it gives you access to the wonderful world of Japanese exclusive merchandise. Being a gamer, and especially a fan of Pokemon, you pretty easily become aware of some awesome merch that you would love to have, but it's exclusive to Japan, and honestly, as someone who's tried to navigate this myself, trying to buy anything from a Japanese website when you live outside the country or don't know the language can be pretty intimidating. That's where Buyee comes in. They act as, well, your Buyee and will purchase things on your behalf from sites like Amazon Japan, Rakuten, and even auction websites like Yahoo Japan Auction. From there, it is shipped to their warehouse, and then they ship it to you and basically take all the complex navigation out of the process. So if you want to finally give yourself unprecedented access to all the Japanese exclusive products that are out there, you can use my link in the description to create a Buyee account today, and when you do, you'll get a special coupon code to get 2,000 yen off your first purchase, which is about $20 US. So again, check that out with the link below, and a big thank you to Buyee for supporting the channel. Alrighty, so beginning with Kanto, we of course already have a Kanto Hisuian form with Hisuian Growlithe, but there's always the possibility we could get another, so we're gonna see what that may be like. One very significant Kanto Pokemon that surprisingly hasn't had anything happen to it yet in terms of a new form is Psyduck. Psyduck is very iconic, but it hasn't yet seen the regional variant love, so I feel like Pokemon Legends Arceus would be a great place to do that. This design by Ibaruwan on Instagram, while not designed as a Hisuian form, is a great example of what could be seen in Legends Arceus, and fits Psyduck great in my opinion. We can even see some gameplay of it here in a mod done by Ivo Newman here on YouTube, and I just feel like this exemplifies Psyduck's charm perfectly while still giving it a new look. And while Kanto Pokemon are a little played out in this department, I would certainly enjoy seeing something like this for Psyduck in the Hisui region. When it comes to a Johtomon, again, we do have Weirdeer, but there's always the potential for more. And who do you think I'm gonna look at when it comes to Johto? Yeah, you guessed it. It's Sunflora.
No, it's actually Cyndaquil.
People have been talking about the potential of new forms for the starters in this game ever since they were first revealed, and while personally I think the prospect of new forms for the starters is extremely unlikely, which I talked about in this video, it's at least worth a look. And this design of an alternate Cyndaquil evolution by Wazdemon on Instagram really makes you wish it was a little more likely. I especially like that it's a fire fighting type, but its design is honestly really awesome, as are the designs for the other starters that Wazdemon also created. Although I don't think it's gonna happen, I would flip my lid if my Cyndaquil evolved into something like this come January, and it would certainly be an awesome addition to a game that is already doing so many new things. Hoenn is one region that has not seen any representation in the Hisui region to this point in terms of regional variants, meaning that it is probably a little more likely than the previous 2 regions to actually happen. This design of a Hisuian Baltoy and alternate Baltoy evolution by Zornio Region on Instagram is one of the possibilities we could see, and is especially likely for a game like Legends, since these Pokemon are intended to be clay dolls that were made by an ancient civilization long ago, so they would definitely be a perfect fit for the more primitive theme that this game has. Another cool option for a Hisuian Baltoy and clay doll would be something to do with this mysterious figure that has been seen in the Pokemon anime. This clay doll-like object has been seen in the anime multiple times, including before clay doll even existed back in the Johto days, so it would be cool for this to become a new form of clay doll that at the very least referenced this design, but maybe even explained a little bit about where it comes from. That is unlikely since it's from the anime, which is a completely different canon, but it would obviously be cool, and the potential for a Hisuian form of these two Pokemon is obviously there, so it would be really cool to see that happen for real. Next up we come to Ceno, and this is obviously an interesting situation, because we are in Ceno, so could this even actually happen? Well, technically yes it could, since we're dealing with ancient forms here and not traditional regional variants. Ceno is just as eligible as any other region for its Pokemon to get a new form, and one that just needs to seize this opportunity more than any other is Spiritomb. With Spiritomb's whole backstory being that it's a Pokemon that was bound to an odd keystone long ago for its misdeeds, it is just begging to be shown off in that original state before it was attached to the keystone, since we are now in the Ceno of long ago. This design by Goompy on Instagram does a good job of showing what that could look like. However, there is one potential with this becoming a reality. Spiritomb's dex entry says that it was bound to the odd keystone 500 years ago, meaning that Legends Arceus would have to take place 500 years ago in order for this to work. The game, as of right now, seems to take place around 150 or so years ago due to its closeness to actual Japanese history. But of course, Game Freak can always take their own creative liberties, or heck, they could even retcon the date that's mentioned in Spiritomb's dex entry if they really wanted. There might be some doubt as to whether or not this could actually happen, but it definitely should, so hopefully we will be able to see a Hisuian Spiritomb when the game comes out. For our Unova selection, we do have Basculegion, obviously, but with 156 Unova Pokemon out there, there's certainly room for more representation, and one idea I believe would be really cool is a Hisuian Yamask. Now, you might be thinking that Yamask already got a regional variant in Galar, but we do know, thanks to Meowth, that Pokemon can have more than one regional variant, and this design by TubbsAZ on Instagram was just too good to pass up. It wasn't designed as a Hisuian form, but it brings up a potential concept that is very interesting. Multiple Yamask variants across different regions that all carry different objects from their previous lives, and this determines what they evolve into. In this Yamask's case, it's carrying around a plush doll, which causes it to evolve into what TubbsAZ calls Stuffarigus, which looks amazing. And while I'm not one to use either one of Yamask's current evolutions, I would definitely use this one, which really just goes to show how good of a design it really is, at least for me anyway. I really like the idea of different Yamasks carrying different items, which changes their evolution, so who knows, maybe something similar to this could happen in Legends Arceus. Moving along, I would actually really enjoy seeing a Hisuian form of a Kalos Pokemon, and I really hope it happens. This is because, as a relatively newer region, Kalos hasn't seen any kind of revisiting to its Pokemon or region yet, but since Kalos will be over 8 years old by the time Legends Arceus comes out—
8 years? Good lord, what is happening?
I think it will have been long enough to start scratching the surface of what Kalos regional variants could look like, and this design of a Hisuian Phantump by Goompy on Instagram is a great example of what they could be and what we could see in Legends. This was made by Goompy with Legends in mind, which is why the design factors in Japanese sakura blossoms. Also, I'm not sure if this is what the original artist was going for, but Phantump's branches look a lot like antlers here, which could be referencing Japan's deer population, which have been known to enjoy the sakura blossoms themselves. And if that's the case, that's honestly a really cool design choice, and would be really awesome to see in Legends Arceus. Now we've come to Alola, and just like Kalos, Alola hasn't seen its Pokemon revisited yet either, since they're obviously so new. However, if any region was actually fitting for its Pokemon to have a regional variant in a place like Ceno, it would be Alola, since their respective environments are so different. This design of a Hisuian Dewpider and Araquanid, also by Goompy on Instagram, are a perfect example of this, where Dewpider and Araquanid swap their water type for an ice type, which would assuredly be the case in a colder place like Ceno. I also really like these designs because, in my opinion, it vastly improves on Araquanid's design specifically. Despite an amazing name, Araquanid has a really generic sort of look in my opinion, and this design of a Hisuian Araquanid just looks so much more unique and interesting, to the point where I would even legitimately add this to my team, since I already like Dewpider a lot anyway. Alola might be newer, but when Legends Arceus comes out in 2022, it will be approaching 6 years since its release.
Good lord!
And there really aren't any Pokemon that are better suited to adapt to this environment than Alola's Pokemon, so I would really like to see it happen. Finally, we come to Galar. For reasons stated with Alola and Kalos, this region is probably the least likely to receive a regional variant for its Pokemon, since we were just introduced to Galar and we're still in Generation 8 even. However, we can still look at what it might be like. Once again, coming from Goompy on Instagram, these designs for a Hisuian Hatenna and Hattrem show how the Galerion Pokemon could be switched up, and I really like this design. It changes Hatenna from a Psychic type to a Poison type, which is cool, and I would really like to see what this could translate into for Hatterene in particular, since I'm not exactly the biggest fan of that Pokemon. So while it probably won't happen, there's clearly some potential for some awesome Hisuian forms in even the newest of Pokemon designs. And that's what it could be like if every Pokemon region had a Hisuian form. Which Pokemon would you like to see get a Hisuian form the most? Let me know in the comments, and be sure to like the video and subscribe if you enjoyed and if you're new. With that said, I'll be back with another video very soon, and until then, as always, I love you all, thanks for watching, and I will smell you guys later.